So I like to call myself a photographer or a photography student, but it's been 2 years since I made my last photo. I know this because I've completed a whole other degree since my photography degree, and I know that during my photography degree I did not pick up my camera at all, and it's really sad actually. So I think in the summer of 2022, when I moved out of my final uni house, I went home, I did a shoot, and I said, you know, this is going to be the start of a new project. Because I've been talking about making a photography book for, as everyone, my entire photography career. And I thought, you know, I'm off uni for the summer before I go back to do more uni. I'm going to do it now. So I did this shoot in July 2022, and I just never touched it. I'm assuming it was a family member, but someone in my household left on the stairs a weird leaf for me, because that's what my love language is apparently, is just strange looking foraged items. And I'll put an image of it here, just so you can see what I'm actually talking about. And I saw this leaf and suddenly everything started turning in my mind. It's like I found the missing piece to actually edit this shoot that I've been sitting on for 2 years. So now I've done it. And this might be the start of a new project. I don't want to get too optimistic about it, because literally we've been talking about it for a while. But I think something's happening. But the good news is that I have made my first image since finishing my degrees, and I would like to talk to you about it now. So let's go small mode. So the image. I think the main thing about this shoot that was experimental for me at the time is that it's partially nude, because I usually shoot with a nude bodysuit on and then I edit out the lines to create the nude illusion, and it's just an actual nightmare to edit. So I thought, why don't I just shoot it partially nude in the first place? And then I think I also try to pass it off wow, it's a tribute to myself and body positivity, and this is what I look like at this age. Which means nothing to me now because so much time has passed. So this is, you can see off the file title, this is number 5 out of the image as I was going through and setting up. When I start shoots, when I go into editing, I take the image, we enable a little layer mask, and then I have a background that's just colour picked from the darkest colour in the image. So I get all my images this stage, and then just forget about them for so long. So let's walk through the editing process. So every image starts off in this point. It's weird and nude, and I did edit out my nipple. Because that's not, I think the point of the image is not to be a tasteful nude. I just don't want to edit out bodysuit lines, and I think some images clothing is distracting and I don't have the right outfits that I want for the imagery, so I thought, you know what, let's go no clothes. I put myself in place. I then pulled in the images of the weird leaves, which one by one, they all have, I literally just held it up against the edge of my bookcase because it's a black background, took a photo with my phone, and that was it. And then for the first time ever, colour range was very helpful in editing out the background for this, or selecting the background in a sense. Wow, look at those crisp lines. So then it made it very easy to mask out the background, and I sat there and I thought, you know, it looks like wings. And I think this is a kind of image that I, as usual, did not go in with intentionality of what it means to me, because throughout my degree the actual nightmare was all my lectures being well, what does it mean? And I'm someone who's symbolism and theme and imagery based first and then concept in a sense. So I thought, you know, it just looks sick. I got leaf wings. How cool is that? And obviously that's not the answer people are looking for. I'm not built for, you know, critical essay writing. I'm here to have a good time and think about it later. But I think subconsciously all of my images come back to my body and nature and living with chronic pain. And one day I will find a very articulate way of writing it down, because if I want to make this a book, I need to be a lot more intentional with my thought process. But until then, we're here for vibes, and I have leaf wings. And then we have to start doing a little bit of colour matching or getting the vibe that I want. So I have this lovely hue and saturation layer, which basically saturates the orange and yellow tones and leaves the reds how they are. So if we zoom in a little bit, I look lovely and pale and sickly, but with lovely rosy cheeks and lovely rosy lips. And that is the filter I use in half my videos as well, because I just like how it looks. Then we had to, I think the curve layer wasn't working properly for the leaves, so we went through the levels just to, I like to have no pure black and no pure white in my images. I want it to be like flat and grey and dull, and that sounds so boring, but I love it. We have another curve layer. Oh, so this curve layer and this curve layer are exactly the same, but because I had to, what's this tool called? You can tell I haven't touched Photoshop in 2 years, because what am I talking about? Okay, so you can see it like darkens the entire background and it feathers onto my body a bit. So it adds like a nice little, blends me into the background, I say, so I'm not just like completely detached from the reality I'm trying to create. And then the same for the leaves as well. And I was so proud of, I say so proud of like what I did for this. It's literally just a curved layer with like a 50 pixel feather or something. But it just really adds to something, and this is something that I probably wouldn't have done in my original photography. I was not big on like detail lighting, and I'm still literally someone who shoots in auto in RAW and then relies entirely on Photoshop, and I would love to get better at actual like technical photography soon, because I neglected that for my entire degree. So my degree is truly just in Photoshop. But these little lighting things are things that I wouldn't have done in my degree, and I'm glad that I've like learned something or like become aware of what I like in photography in these 2 years. So we have this little foresty background, and I know I'm going to do a foresty background every time because, again, I'll put an image here that I made, I think around like 3 years ago to the date. It's surely not 4 years ago by now. But I love the foresty background, and I just like copy and paste elements across all my files because I like that consistency and the illusion of being outdoors without having to actually go out and be weird in public. I put the floor in, I thought, it needs something else. So I thought, some trees. And then we have the trees that I use in pretty much every single image. If you look across, I was going to say if you look across my Instagram account, you'll see them everywhere, but I don't think I posted a lot of my uni works. So there's that one here. And then each one of them has a hue and saturation layer that basically just desaturates and decreases the contrast, I believe. Yeah. Okay, saturation and then the lightness of it. And same for that one. So now they all, like, colour-wise exist in the same universe. And then I just wanted the background darkened in general. But before I show you that, I'll show you this little curve layer. There. These little shadows beneath the body always add, like, a nice finishing touch to me. So for this one, I just wanted to match the darkness of the curve layer to the darkness of the shadow that already exists on my body. So there, the shadow to match the darkness of the shadow we already have, darken the background. And this is like a very simple edit for me. Yeah, it's quite simple. There's not many, we're up to like 13 layers. That's nothing. And then we have the vignette. And then we have another vignette. So I thought I want to be very dark, very moody, because I know when I add my texture layers that are these oil paint ones at the top, it brightens up the image a lot. So you've got to go a bit over the top with the vignettes. Then this is the same oil paint texture I have used since my first year of uni, so coming up 5 years now, because I just like it. There's no other reason. What does it look like without? It's on soft light, so it's just this. It's just a texture like a canvas. It looks more like a wall texture sometimes. On soft light, and because I want all of my works to have a painterly feel, and I love when I open it up on my camera and you swipe up and Apple tries to like identify the artwork in it. I love that because it just adds something to me, a little fairy tale old story quality. And this is another vignette I've started adding recently because I noticed it doesn't really hit the corners of the image, so we add a little bit more. And the final thing I did was open up in the Photoshop Express app, because I love, my phone's a colour calibrated monitor, my laptop's not, and my iPad is. So I open it up on the Photoshop Express app and I go and do my final colour edits there, which is usually adding more vignette. There's a like preset filter that's like matte 4 or something, which I love. I love it. I'll put up a little, it looks near identical to the image I made on my laptop, but it just has this little finishing touch. So there's more vignette, more matte, and then I turn down brightness and shadows a little bit just to have it more flat. Because that's apparently what I'm just into. So this is the first image I've made in 2 years. I'm very happy with it. And I hope that I keep up this momentum because I've been feeling very creative recently. And I think it's just the fact that I don't have to exist for a grade anymore. And hopefully at some point I will make enough images that I can come back and be like, hey, I've made a book because I love to make books. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope I have more videos to make soon about my images, because I really did miss making them. Thank you for watching, and I will maybe see you at some point. Goodbye.